What is up, everybody? I am RenaMarq, your modern Renaissance content creator, your friendly neighborhood content creator, and welcome back to another episode of Per-Sception. And I have a legend here, a legend. One of my greatest friends, family. She is family to me, and this is the super talented, super amazing Chef Steph, who is an artist, a musician, a chef, if you did not hear it in the name, and a
Mark, thank
connoisseur
you.
of all
Wow.
things fucking awesome. What is up, Chef Steph?
Yo, thank you. Like, first of all, gassing my head up. My
You know,
head's gonna take up the whole screen because I'm so
you know,
gassed. No, hats off to you. I'm gonna keep my hat on, but hats off to
you
you.
know, do it up.
Man, I appreciate it. From one legend to another, if that. I really appreciate it. Mark works super hard, and I'm actually so excited to be on here because
Yeah.
this is actually my first ever interview as Chef Steph.
Yes.
Woo! Ding 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 ding. Yeah, so I really wanted to get interviewed by someone I'm comfortable with, somebody
Mhm.
that appreciates the craft, so I figure, Mark could be the one. Why not?
And I
Let's
am
do this.
honored. I am honored.
So,
And
thank you so much.
introduce yourself. What would you elevator like in an elevator pitch? How would you describe yourself and what you do?
Hmm. I guess first of all, I talk a lot, so if I ever am getting off topic, off
No,
tangent,
never,
feel free to bring me back in. But
never.
I don't know. It's so hard to put myself into one word because I always try to live life not trying to be one thing. So I
Mhm.
guess if I could put it into like a little blurb, I would say I am a jack of many trades and I am always curious to learn and I am passionate about anything I spend time on because I don't really believe in just being like meh about stuff. I'm either all in or I don't give a damn. Maybe that's too intense, but
I fucks with that.
that's my thing. That's
I
my thing.
I fucks
So
with that. Heck yeah. Okay. Okay. So
yes.
so let's talk about the best place to start. Let's talk about your plate. Let's talk about the things that you are passionate about. Like what is and even if you want, is there an order of things that you're passionate about? So like what are those things and is there a certain order of it?
Mm, hmm. That's actually easy. Is in the name. Chefing.
That's right.
Chefing to me is creating. It's not like, oh, I'm a chef, like I'm just gonna flip this burger. Like some people treat the word chef, sorry, I'm just adjusting myself.
No, do your
Some
thing. Do your
people
thing. Do
treat
it
the
up.
word chef with very high regard, and I'm not taking away from that. I believe it is an earned title in some aspects, and others I feel like, well, if you're creating, if you're eating food, if you're making food, and or whatever, it goes synonymous with making music. Because for
Mhm.
me, it's like making a meal is like making a song, except when I make a song, I feel way more vulnerable, way more like I'm a music hoarder. Like I have so much on the way right now that I need to give to the world, and I think this interview is going to help me with that because it's just like a reminder. We got to put our art there, out there. Rather, it's not meant for us to just hold on to. But
Right.
I guess yeah, like food is definitely up there. Music is definitely up there. But above food and music, I would say like friends and family. And you already know what the deal is.
Of course.
I'm really all about the people that I've made connections with because I'm all about village mentality, which is like it takes a village. I don't know if you were like remember when you were younger, there was like a book, It Takes a Village
Yeah.
or whatever. That book, I actually never ever forgot about it because it's just like a gentle reminder that like we're not really supposed to isolate ourselves and kind of be like bitter. Like that's not normal. It's not right.
Right.
We got to be open and vulnerable with the right people, of course, and
Right.
so that's what I stand for. That's what's important to me. Simple. And
Okay.
gaming,
Gaming, yes.
gaming, 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 gaming. if I wasn't so damn good at rapping, I'm just kidding. But no, I love gaming. It's a big part of my life. I still have plans to kind of move forward with it in some ways because I love the community, and you already know.
Of course.
Like I love horror games, but I'm too afraid to play them. I just like I'm a spectator, but I'm one of those people. I play the same video games for like 10, 15 years. I'm not really a big fan of like new stuff. And if I am, it's like open world and like
Right.
maybe Call of Duty and stuff like that. Like I'm I'm a big Elder Scrolls up and down to the socks. Like I'm all about Bethesda or whatever. Their games are incredible,
You know
and
that's right.
Nintendo. Cause back to the basics, you feel me? Like I've been playing since I had a Game Boy Color. I had the translucent purple one. I gotta find that. I wonder if I still have it. I don't know, but I still have my Nintendo DS, the very first one that came out in like what 2003, 2004.
Yeah,
It was the
about oh
big
04.
clunky one.
Yeah, with the big
Mine's like
ass
a
the shit that couldn't even
yes,
fit in your pocket.
definitely not. But I was still bringing it to school. But that I still have. It's in mint condition. Like it still turns on, charges, like plays games beautifully. I'm never throwing that thing out. I'm not throwing any of my video games out.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So you
Um,
already
with that, something that you said I want to piggyback off of. Let's take it back to the it takes a village aspect of what you were saying. To piggyback off of that, how important is it for you to build community within like within yourself and like what do you feel like the best foundation is, like where did you start to really sit and be like, okay, community is the number one aspect that I want to build in order for me to feel like I can put yourself out there, like you could put yourself out there and everything else, like having that it takes a village mentality, like where how hard was it to start that?
I actually think it's always been in me, you know? I have
Mm-hmm.
a very big family, and
Mm-hmm.
even though most of us are in Brazil, I would spend a lot of my summers there. I'm a citizen there as well, actually. Not a lot of people know that, but I'm a citizen in America and in Brazil. So if y'all keep making me mad, no, I'm just kidding. Just know I got an escape plan. I'm just kidding. But um, my family is huge, and my family is a farm family. Like my mom is one of 7 kids. And so my mom's father and her mother, like my grandparents, like they had a farm and then they had kids, and that's just like kind of how it was back then. I mean, it's still kind of that way in some areas, but the whole it takes a village to like run this household, like you know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
kind of where it started. So when I was growing up though, I grew up in a single family household. Like my parents divorced when I was like really young, so like I don't really even know what it's like to have like a male dominate the household. Like whatever, you know, if you're talking about basics, you gotta remember like where things started. So like for me, it was like women are always in charge. They're the ones that keep things together when things get crazy. And I still very much believe in that matriarchal like thing, but I'm not like anti-men or anything like that. It's not about that. It's more
Right.
so when you grow up in a household and you see the women calling the shots, you know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how I grew up. So I was never comfortable like really being told what to do by anyone really. Like it's not like I was anti-authority, but like I grew up in a very like, you know, strict household. So
Right.
it was like get your shit done and don't give lip about it. And if you give lip, do it in private. Like, and I'm not saying that's okay, but the whole do your part, no matter how you feel, is what I really gathered from that. Because if there's one thing my family taught me is that the world is going to continue to be the world. It's going to continue to be hectic. Now you got to stay strong and you got to do your part. Sometimes you got to stay strong for other people, and some other people got to stay strong for you. It switches around, you know?
Mm.
So I moved out really, really young, actually. I moved out when I was 18. Lived by myself for 8 years. So like 8 years and going. I'm in a transitional period right now, but
Right.
it was just I think moving out really young also taught me that I can't really do all these things alone, even though I was like doing everything alone.
Right.
I was like 18, 19 already doing stuff that some people don't get to do until later on, whatever. Like, it doesn't make me better than anybody, but I think my hyper independence led me to be like, okay, like I literally can't keep doing this. I gotta have good friends, and I did have some good friends back in my earlier 20s, and then some people not so much,
Right.
and nothing against them. At the end of the day, it's just about who you surround yourself with, and I just didn't really match up with some people, and I was probably just doing too much, trying to be that kid that was like, oh, I moved out, so just come to my house and do whatever you want. Like, I don't know. I was definitely taken advantage of, but then I found my balance.
Mm.
And then I found my people that would want to hang out with me no matter if I have my own place or not, or if I have my own car or not, or whatever, which I do have my own car now, which is great. But it's just, when people stick around with you for you.
Right.
So that's what really propelled me forward, is like seeing other people live a lonely life as well, and just being like, yeah, that's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. And when you live alone, it's very easy to get lonely, by the way. It's very, very easy to just feed into that part of yourself and be like, well, no one really cares anyway. And it's not true. Like, you're just alone in your apartment, so you're making yourself think that. So, learn and grow, learn and grow.
I like that. I like that, especially knowing how big you are with community and friends and family. Like even down to you make sure that everybody has a sense of like your presence is very like familial, especially like at your shows. You
I
know,
appreciate that.
of
Thank you.
course, of
And thank you
course.
for coming out to those shows. By the way, Mark is a great supporter. He's
Thank
one
you,
of those people that
thank you.
reminds me that I need to keep doing what I'm doing, because
Yes,
sometimes I doubt myself. So it's really nice to have people like you are really special and
thank you.
need to be kept around, for real.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I
Yes.
be trying my best. I be trying.
You're doing your damn best. You are doing it. You hear me?
You know that's right. That's right. But like one of the big things I noticed at your shows is even in the presence of strangers when you're performing outward, even past like the friends who come to support, the family who come to support, even when you're performing outward, you kind of still have, and this is from my observation, you kind of still have that, like how you just said in in what you was just saying, how you have that balance of, yeah, come over and do what you want, but like I feel like you have found that balance and transferred it to a lot of your creativity and a lot of your passion, a lot of your performance, because when I see you performing, even in your music, it's it's inviting, and kind of just like how you were just saying, living on your own, you were inviting a lot, you know? And I think that
Mm.
even though you kind of cut that off because you had to balance seeing who was there for you and maybe who wasn't, in that balance of finding yourself and things of that nature, I think you kind of just took it out and moved it to a more positive space, because your music, your
Yeah.
performance, even your food, like when you post food online, or when you talk about food, or when you talk about what you make, it's always very inviting. So
Yeah, I want
how do
everybody to
you
eat
think,
good food, man.
exactly, so like how do you how did you kind of, even if it was subconscious, like how did you figure out that balance to stay so inviting but in a more creative space?
Hmm. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I still get very nervous when I get up there. I still apologize, and like
Yes. Yes,
last
you
what
do.
was it, like less than 2 weeks ago, I had this performance in Arawak's Records
Shout
at
out to
Union
Airwax.
City. Great spot. Get some tea, get a record.
That's right.
Um, and I remember one of my songs during my set. I was like, I'm sorry. And I was, later on, my sister, she was just like, stop. Like, you don't gotta apologize. And I'm just like, well, I feel so nervous still because it's been many months since I've done this, but I don't even know how I'm performing when I'm performing. It's just like pouring out of me, like, because I still feel like I'm finding my niche when it comes to performing. Like, I want to do it more and more, and actually, because I feel like I'm getting close to it. After this last show, it was very intimate and it was very nice. It was brick as fuck, but people still came through, and it was very nice. Everybody did their thing, so that was a community based move right there. Like,
Right.
I think that for me, performing has felt this way is because so far I've only chosen to perform in places and groups and whatever where I feel like I really believe in what they're doing or whatever.
Yes.
um like, for instance, there's this event called Good Times,
Shout out to
and
Good Time.
yeah, man, remember Good Times? A great place.
Great place.
During the summer, lots of fun. They're still having some events, I believe, but now that things are colder, like, it's inside. But very inviting space, very amazing group of people. I think when people believe in community, they're just drawn to this. They're magnetized to it, and I'm one
Right.
of those people that's just magnetized. And I guess, just to, like, put things into, like, a little bubble, it's like I'm just such a come as you are type of person. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to pretend with me. You don't have to, like, adjust yourself. Like, you don't have to walk on eggshells. I really don't give a darn. Are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't give a damn. Honestly, as long as you're not hurting people,
Right.
and as long as you're coming from a place of love, or a genuine place, whatever, you don't have to love everything or everybody. It's fine with me. Um, then I'm cool with that, Like, I feel like I've struggled long enough with feeling like I had to fit in. I never really tried to. Like, I just
Right.
knew that things were gonna be difficult because I didn't want to abide by certain things. Growing up, I grew up looking super androgynous. I used to get misgendered all the time. I was into things that girls weren't typically into at that time. This is 20 years ago. So, like, things were a completely different side of a coin, honestly. Like, I do feel very grateful that things are shifting. I mean, there's a lot of work to go, but
Right.
I just feel like, yeah, if I'm an inviting person, it's really just because I'm so tired of all the negativity in the world. Like, I was about to become a victim of negativity if I just didn't snap out of it.
Right.
And I mean, every day is you know how it is. Like, it's not like this. Oh, hold up a sec. I
Oh
didn't
no,
mean to.
I
Can
got
you
you.
hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Yeah,
can
no,
hear you. You good?
every day is just like a different. You got to work on things. You can't just expect things to be like a constant. Oh, well, I'm happy now. That's it.
Right.
I worked on my happiness. It's over. Like, once I realized that too, I became a lot more at ease with myself. And I also had to stop looking at other people's lives, like, or like taking it in rather, because there's nothing wrong with, like, oh, cool, like, that person's parasailing, but
Right.
change your perspective on it. Like, my perspective used to be like, well, why am I not parasailing right now?
Right.
Why am I not on the island right now? And so, like, I'm trying to flip it into where I'm like, well, I'm gonna go parasailing. I'm gonna put in the work to go parasailing so I can go parasail next year, whatever. By the way, I do not want to fucking parasail. This is just an example. I do not want to do that. I'm not a fan. Everybody can do what they want. I promise you, but I'm not. I'm not bungee jumping. I'm not that.
Hell no. No, I'm with
I
you
do
on
not
that.
thrive off of that.
I'm with you on that.
No thanks.
With with and I want to go into the mind here and the heart. I want to go into your mental and emotional states of beings for the couple of things.
Let's
And
get it.
try to take it out the cliche box as well. Um with your passion, music, with your passions of cooking and things of that nature. I would like to know, do you find that in in the way that you have becoming like you've been healing, you've been working on everything, do
Yeah.
you feel that that hinders your creativity process, or do you feel like having, like, still holding on to dark moments of either your mind or past or anything of that nature helps you with creativity more than the healing process? Like what do you feel better when you're creating? Do you feel like being in those darker spaces help you cook better because it alleviates, or
Mm.
putting out better music because you have more things to talk about, or anything of that nature, versus like you being in such a healing process where now your cooking and your music can be more lighter, but do you feel like that hinders what you may talk about?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
Uh, but I'm ready for whatever. um, I don't know. It really depends. I feel like when I'm really going through it, like I'm motivated like no other. Like my motivation is different. Like I feel like you can hear how hungry I am
Right.
for like what I'm trying to relay when I'm like going through it. But I noticed that when I'm in a good space, like I be sliding, like I be more confident on the way that I record or perform or whatever. Because also what people need to know, if they don't know, is that when you're performing, it's definitely different than when you're in a studio, and when you're in a studio, it's
Yep.
definitely different than when you're just like chilling and like writing the process or whatever. Like, and mind you, I like also doing all these things on the fly. Sometimes I feel like I like the pressure of like I used to do this to myself when I was like in school. Like I would like wait until the day of to hand some shit in, or like the last hour, and I would do it to myself. And sometimes I'd be like, well, damn, why are you doing this? Like, you could do things ahead of time and not feel like, what the fuck? But then I realized, like, about my junior or senior year of college, I was like, holy shit, like, I like to operate off pressure. That's why I like to perform. That's why I like to make music, because there's a healthy amount of pressure involved in
Yes, it
these
is.
things when you allow it or whatever. Like, not all pressure is bad pressure. Like, why do people think that? Like, sometimes some pressure kicks your ass just enough to where you're like Super Saiyan on that shit. Like, you wouldn't
Right.
be Super Saiyan in that moment if the pressure didn't kick your ass in that moment.
Right.
But I also do believe in good preparation. Um, I have had some bad performances in the past, um, which is fine. It's a learning experience.
Right.
I'm not going to get into specifics, but also watch how much you drink before a performance. That definitely, people think like it's this rock star lifestyle, and it's like, oh yeah, like I'll be alright. Next thing you know, you're on stage and you're just like, what? So yeah, I've learned
I've been there.
I've learned from my performances. I have so much to learn. I think every time I perform for the rest of my God-given life, I'm going to learn something, because I take everything as a learning experience. You got to. Otherwise,
Right.
you're gonna go nuts thinking everything was pointless, because it's not. There's no such thing as pointless things, except for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are
Facts.
pointless. I don't care what anyone says. Don't talk to me about the animal chain. I don't. We don't need them. We got little. We got other fruit flies and shit. If the bug's getting hungry, they talk about it's gonna fuck the chain up. Eradicate them.
Facts. I'm with you.
Eradicate
I
all the
can't stand
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes. Oh.
So, other than that, everything else should have the freedom to exist. I'm sorry. Mark knows how silly I am. Like, I joke
I
a
love
lot.
it. That's exactly
That's
why.
another thing about me. Like, I'm forever joking, because life is so darn crazy. So I'm forever joking at the right times, of course.
Right.
Also, maybe sometimes at the wrong times, but like, I'm not about to laugh at a funeral. Like, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Unless I was asked to. Unless the person was like, listen, when I go, you gotta go up there and do your little dance. I mean it, or I'll haunt you. Then I'll have to do it, because the
Facts.
haunting part, I don't like that. I'm gonna have to do my little dance and shit.
um with with I want to talk about your music. That's going to be a big core here as well. It's part of the meat and potatoes as well.
Oh yes.
With your music, and I'm gonna put you on a couple of hot seats. I am. Um you 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 know that you have the mentality of it takes a village, and you have successfully curated that. You definitely have supportive friends, you definitely have supportive family, you definitely
Yes,
have
I appreciate that.
other content creators or other musicians or other people in that industry, in that space, that supports. So for you, I know that you don't put out music so often.
Uh, uh,
Yup.
uh.
So
I'm a
with that,
music hoarder. What can I say?
and
Just
that's the
kidding.
thing. So my question to you is, with performing and, you know, like your performance at Good Times, your performance at Arrow Wax, and other performances, and especially a lot more recent performances, you have had people come out for you. You have had people, support you. Even in Neon Collective, you know you have people that like what you do.
Yeah, shout
So
out to me and Co for sure.
facts.
Yeah.
Um, Now my question to you would be, what stops you from, like, you do the writing, you do the recording, you do the editing, engineering, you even do the
Oh yeah, I do a
performances.
little bit of something.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
my
saying?
I will say my support system does a lot more of the technical stuff, but there is some stuff that I'm still
Of course.
doing and technically speaking. But
Of
yes, I
course.
do write my own stuff. Hundred
Yes.
percent, 100%. I write my
Now,
stuff.
where do
Um,
you do all
damn,
those
the only person
steps?
stopping me is me. That's it.
Exactly.
This is the
That's a
villain.
that's what I'm getting at. Exactly. Boom. We done found
Not
the
for much
culprit.
longer though.
We
Not
done
for much
found the
longer.
culprit. But
Not for
like,
much longer. We're gonna start the year off with a big bang. That's really all I could
yes,
say.
thank you.
Um,
Putting
it's
you on.
me because I definitely allowed some of my personal experiences to hinder me
Okay.
from putting stuff out. Also, I'm not gonna go into super much detail, but a few years ago, I did have a song and I put it out and I didn't like the way that it was mixed, so I took it out, took it
Mm-hmm.
down because I like, when you step away from the painting, it's, you're supposed to like it after some point, but I kept hating it and hating it, and
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't right. So that took me back from doing stuff for a little bit, like at least posting my music, because I have no problem posting my rap videos. Like I post a rap video at least once or twice a month,
Yeah.
maybe once a month, you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
to remind people, there's bars. But right now, a lot of the stuff that I've been working on is expanding on my bars, and I'm also trying to like showcase my I would say my singing, my melodies and things like that.
Right.
I'm not like Alicia Keys, but there's some things that I could do
Right.
that I haven't really been forward about or
Your
whatever. And
songwriting
then I should
ability.
probably go ahead and do it. And
Yeah.
I think with these next few releases, I'm gonna definitely be able to show that. I also, uh, whatchamacallit, I will be dropping sometime. I don't have a specific, but I'm going to try to drop a single before the year ends
Okay. Okay.
because, gotta give the people a little appetizer.
You know that's
Why
right.
not? So I'm going to be dropping a single before the year ends. I don't have any more details at the moment to share because I don't want to say more than what I'm sure of, if that makes
Right.
sense.
No, no, that's perfect sense.
So, but the fact that you're calling me out on this publicly really is going to make sure that I stop doing this because no, you got to call me out. I want everyone to be like, yo, I honestly, like those artists have those super fans under their posts or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even want to call people my fans. Like, if you're my supporter, like, I want you to bother me and be like, so where's the project? Where's the song? Like,
Right.
a little bit, not too much, please. Just like a
Yeah,
little bit of
just a
kick in the
little
butt.
bit. A little bit.
Because, like I just said, I guess I'm the most active when I'm under that pressure, and maybe it's not the best mentality to have, but it is my mentality for the time. So, yep, that's just where I'm at. So, sorry, I
No,
thought
no,
somebody
no.
was behind me.
With and I like that, and other than me, I know a lot of people are waiting for your music, and to talk about, I want to talk about what helped you kind of, or what was the brick that you took out that kind of knocked down the wall of you going from bars to you wanting to be like, no, I am a songwriter, I am an actual artist, like I can do this, like, because of course, I've been a fan of yours for a long minute. So like I've
Appreciate it,
of course
definitely.
I've seen you go from, you know, pure bars and a lot of features and things of that nature and spitting and killing tracks, and now you're coming out with things like, you know, you're being more experimenting on different types
Yeah,
of
that's the
beats
word for sure.
and different melodies, and you're actually like writing out songs and caring about what choruses sound like, the right, you know, the right pace and things of that nature. So what kind of made you be like, okay, this should be my next step?
Hmm. I can't say it was just one thing.
Uh-huh.
I can't say it was just one thing. I will
Talk about
say
it.
though that the pandemic, and maybe a lot of people feel this way, the pandemic made me realize like what was important and what was not.
Right.
Before the pandemic, I was working like 45 plus hours a week. At some time before that, I was also in school. So it was just like where was the time for my things that I love to do?
Right.
It was draining me. Uh, it wasn't like it just felt it all felt fruitless. You know
Right.
what I mean? So the pandemic relivened my, I guess it sparked my interest up again. It reminded me like what I'm supposed to be doing here. But I will say that sometime when things started to get a little easier with the pandemic or whatever, people started getting a little more comfortable visiting each other.
Mhm.
Uh, Hanging out with my friend Najee, who is in Neon Cove Collective, also known as Seafoam. Shout out to
Shout out
you.
Seafoam.
Facts. Yes, for real. We've known each other since we were 14. We used to play guitar and like sing and shit in class. Like, and even on the street sometimes, like for boredom. Like not even like give me $1. Like literally just like performing on the street, like
No.
just cause, like in our neighborhood where we grew up.
Right.
And so reconnecting with him, you know, after things got a little more safe, I would say, he reminded me of some of the work that we've done together. We have we have a song out right now that's on public platforms, but we have multiple songs together where we're like singing together,
Right.
and we just harmonize really, really well. So like he reminded me like I don't have to just be like, "Hey yo, lyrical," you know? He
Right.
reminded me that
Right.
like sometimes you can simplify shit and you can just like, but we have this song on Spotify called Reboot.
Yes.
And I really, like I told him, I was like, we have to have another song like that because now I just feel like we're so much better and we have so much more experience to show since we did that last song or
Yes.
whatever. But like hanging out with him, just hanging out with other artists in general. But like Najee definitely made me remember that like that's kind of how I started. You know, I've been writing rap since I was like 14, but been singing my whole life with my family. Like whatever, it's stuff you do with your family, whatever.
Right.
But what was I gonna say? Darn it. Oh yeah. And then there's people like Missy Elliott that just remind me that your time is your time and that you can do whatever you want. She does it all. I mean, she's got the choreography,
Yeah.
she's got visuals, she's got lyrics, she's got melodies. Like her and Timbaland, it's like, damn, it's like
Yeah.
match made in heaven.
That's a big
So
fact.
like that's what happens when you work with people that you believe in and people that you have mad love for. I believe Missy and Tim, perfect example of that. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm trying to be the next Missy. Nah, I'm trying to be the next Chef Steph. I am the only Chef Steph.
Facts. That's big
My
facts.
influences are amazing people to me though. Like, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Like, I can't even sit here and name all the people that have given me, like, there's a few important ones for sure, but like when I look at like a blueprint of kind of like sort of something I want, um, I look to Missy Elliott. I definitely look to Missy Elliott.
But so
So yeah.
to talk about influences and like you said, not even really get into the people, I think you're a very big champion of New Jersey. Like you are a very big champion of New Jersey.
I love
Um
it. Yeah.
how does this state, and I want to talk cuz like I've seen, you know, I've seen you be inspired by the the city parts of New Jersey. I seen you be inspired by the wood area, like the forest trees areas part of New Jersey. I seen you be inspired by the beach area parts of New Jersey. Like
Oh yes, I'm a big nature girl, definitely.
exactly. Like with that, like how much does that play into, and not only that, but like just the culture of New Jersey in general and the creativity of New Jersey in general, how does that play into your creativity today?
Wow. You are asking all the gems,
I
and
thank you.
I'm going to deliver. I really am not. I'm really loving these questions.
Thank you.
I want all my future interviews. You know what? You're setting the bar too damn high.
You feel
You're
me?
setting the bar too damn
Me-
high. Because now if I get interviewed by other people, I want it to be this fun and I want it to be this relaxed, and it probably won't.
Yeah.
All right. Like, it's just, you know what? I love it. I love it.
I'm
Nah,
glad.
Jersey is everything. And like I said earlier, like I'm Brazilian. Both my parents are. I just so happen to be born in New Jersey,
Right.
which is fine. You can call me American too. It doesn't bother me anymore. My
Mhm.
family always is like, that Americana. And I'm just like, I was born there. I used to get mad when I was little. I used to be like, I'm not, I'm Brazilian. Whatever. I am what I am. But I think Jersey for me, I appreciated it more as I got older because I would travel and go to other places and I'd be like, oh my God, Jersey has the best food, the best diversity. Like, why am I even like, you know? But at the same time, like, what a cutthroat place to live. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on all the time. I did grow up in the suburbs. I'm not going to cap.
Mhm.
But one of my parents lived in Newark. So it was kind of like I had the best of both worlds, like, you know, going to Newark on the weekends, spend time with my dad.
Right.
And I grew up in Montclair, actually. When people hear that, they're like, oh, Montclair? What tax bracket? I'm like, first of all, I grew up in the apartments my entire life.
Right.
I had never had a fucking backyard. I never had my own room. So
Wow.
when I do tell people I'm from Montclair, like I have to quickly say that because there is this big assumption that because I'm from there, it's like, oh, like, you know, I feel very lucky I grew up there. Definitely more sheltered than a lot of other places in Jersey. Like when you're from Essex County, you already know.
Mhm.
Goes without saying.
Big fact.
But I just have love for Jersey, like regardless of like what people think, because at some point I still felt like there's such a crabs in a barrel mentality, and there is,
Yeah.
but there is everywhere. So you just realize it's more prominent here because there's so many fucking people here.
Yeah.
There's just some, especially in North Jersey, it's like we are piled on top of. So it's like, duh, we're gonna find a lot of diamonds in these roughs or whatever. And I'm not
Right.
taking away from anybody's individual talent, but this is kind of what happens when you put a bunch of fucking people in one place and there's like a general struggle for day-to-day living. Like a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. I know that I grew up in a household pretty much like that.
Right.
Like I had what I needed, but some days were difficult. And you know, like I grew up in a town where I had to watch kids have way more than me, be okay with that. And I wasn't at the time. I didn't understand. I was like, well, why the fuck does this kid who lives in a six-figure household get to have all this for Christmas? And it's like, duh, your parents do make six figures. But it's like when I was younger,
Right.
I didn't really understand the whole socioeconomic divide in my town because Montclair still has that till this. I could get as political as I want. I've lived 1999. I'm OG, all right? Like I was there before it was like this booming town what it is now. Like it was so different when I first moved to Montclair, but Jersey for me is like I see other Jersey artists like blow up and shit and I feel like they almost never talk about it. And it's like
Right.
I'm like and then I think about legends that come from here before us
Right.
and they had no problem talking about Jersey. So I'm like, where's the disconnect with these up and coming people from Jersey? Like, why are you trying to say you're from New York or from Philly even? Like, there are people who really be lying in this music shit about where they're from because they're too embarrassed to be real about the fact that they're from Jersey or from like a nice town in Jersey.
Right.
It's like, nah, like I'm going to put on for Essex County, New Jersey, and that's all I know.
No, that's
I
right.
love that place. That place raised me, made me. I mean, it's not an easy place to grow up, but I got really lucky. I got to grow up in a cool town. Montclair's great. Montclair has a lot of legends too. Just look it up. I
No,
don't
that's
feel like
right.
talking about it. It's another day. But I'm glad you asked me that because I will forever go hard for Jersey. Like,
Big facts.
I really don't like I said, like, what is the disconnect? Like, why are people not, like, is it just me?
No,
Or do
I
people
see
our
it.
age just not talk about being from here? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
I see it all the time.
It's weird.
It's very weird. It's definitely one of the things that I don't know if it throws people off. I don't know. I really don't know. It was always a questionable thing.
I don't
Um,
know.
my next question to you is let's look at some future some future Chef Steph endeavors. So as of right now,
Ah,
you know, I know you know you're big on music, big on cooking, even big on gaming.
yes.
What are some things like, you know, other than, you know, the music that you have in the works, but for you, like taking away creativity, strip it away, take it away creativity, no music, no gaming, no cooking, no nothing. Like what is
Does podcasting count?
yeah, but hey, you know, what is the goal for like Chef Steph? Like what do you want to do? Like what are you kind of working towards? I know you kind of go like you live in this, it's day by day, you know,
Yes, I
mile
do
by
live a very
mile, but
tentative life schedule. Every day
yeah,
is different. Every day.
exactly.
There are some days I don't know what to expect. And you know what? I take that as a blessing now instead of being like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. It's like I would rather be living this life than be truthfully sitting in a cubicle. My goal is to live many lives in one life. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, I don't know.
that's a
I
bar.
don't know what the end game or the end goal is. Like, I think I avoid thinking that because if I do think of something, like it'll be beyond a fixation. It'll be basically me telling me myself what my for sure destiny is. And I don't want to
Hmm.
do that to myself. I don't want to label myself and be like, this is what you got to be for the rest of your life. And I'm starting to accept the fact that when I was growing up and I didn't really like, I'm 26 years old. Like, I don't mind talking about how old I am. And I still have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
Hmm.
And I can't tell you that I'm going to know by 30 or 40. I
Right.
actually think a lot of people are lying and saying that they know what's going on, and they don't. So,
1,000%.
um, my goal is ultimately to make a living off of being myself and to love what I do daily. Um, because I just feel like a person like me is not meant to be restrained and muted and put into a place where my creativities are limited. I don't think I'm meant for that. I think I tried to be that. I think I tried to like throw myself into work and say that that's what life is supposed to be. Like I have family that they work their whole lives and they die, and for what?
Yeah.
So that kind of scares me. So I don't want, I don't fit the tradition. Like I don't, the conventional shit like has always scared me. Not scared me. It has always turned me away. Like I'm just so not attracted to it. Like I repel it. I'm not even scared of it. That's not even the word. I take that all back.
Right.
I repel the conventional lifestyle. Like it's not what I want. I want to live for myself and serve others and just be well within my spirit, my regard, like to other people around me. Like I just try to mind my business and eat good. Like I don't know, that's what I stand for. That's my motto. That's my motto. I might get some t-shirts for y'all.
Heck
Eat good and
yeah.
mind your business.
Eat good and
That's
mind your
it. Just eat
business.
good and mind your business. It's really not that hard to sit there and eat your fucking salad.
I
Oh my
like that.
god. Thank
I
you.
like that because that answer is is the embodiment of you. Like that answer is everything I know about you, everything I love about you. That right there
Thank you.
is, of course, that right there is perfect because that you you're such a prepared free spirit. And what I
Thank you.
of course, and like
I don't feel prepared at all, so that's really nice to hear.
of course, no, and the reason I definitely say that because like you you know what the inevitable end goal is. Like you just want to live for yourself, and the reason I say prepared is because you kind of have your means of doing it. Like you have your creativity, you have your passion, like you have things that are going to get you down that path. You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
there's a yellow brick road, you have the shoes and you know the destination. You just gotta walk and see whatever the fuck happens else on that path.
It's actually really funny that you say yellow brick road
Give it
and
to me.
walking because I'm wearing my yellow Crocs right now.
Hey, that's what you see. What I'm saying. We here. We
Look at
here.
that. I am the yellow brick road. Any path I walk,
Is the
yo,
yellow
living
brick
my.
road. That's a
I don't
bar.
know I don't know who needs to hear this, but join the
That's a
dark
bar.
side and get some Crocs. I was not a believer until I got a pair. Now I don't want to do anything without them. Like it's crazy. Like driving in them is the fucking best.
Facts.
Anyways, though, sorry, you know
No,
me.
no, no. I'm
I
with you.
really
You know,
appreciate you saying that, though.
of
I
course.
it's easy for me to just like be like, well, yeah, like carrying these ideals out is not
Right.
always easy, but I'm
Right.
thankful that I have the freedom to do certain things because I think about the people like where my family is from, like 50 years ago, like what women were doing. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I would not be anywhere near whatever I'm doing right now if I, first of all, grew up 50 years ago and in Brazil nonetheless, because that is where my family is from. That is my roots. That is everything. I'm fully from there. I don't have an American blood vessel in my body,
Right.
although I was born here, which is fine. But my culture, my heart, it's Brazil, it's South America. You know what I mean? And I think South American people in general, like there's this like work ethic thing. And I'm not
Right.
saying that's just exclusive to them, but I think that there's this like work ethic thing in like my genes. And like, it's like, I just refuse to just let the world pass by me and like not do nothing. Like I have to be a part of something bigger than myself. Um, Otherwise, what am I here? Like, what am I here for? So,
I like
you
that.
know,
I
yeah.
like that. And to piggyback on, because I do want to get your thoughts on this as well. Something bigger than yourself. So let's talk about. I'm gonna combine something bigger than yourself and the culture of the culture and state of things and your village mentality. I'm gonna kind of do a big fusion here, and I want to ask
Mhm.
you, how do you feel about where the culture of your creativities are now, whether it's cooking, whether it's music? Like, tell me about, like, how do you feel about collaborations? How do you feel about the culture of music? How do you feel about, even like how you said prior, there is a crabs in the barrel mentality in New Jersey, and that and population res, does attribute to a lot of that,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
but like I do know is also, some bad collaboration, some bad apples here that pull people down. So like being in New Jersey, being in this industry, being in this culture, also, even it sucks to even say this almost in 2022, but being a woman in this space, like being a woman in this space and like trying to get collaborations and build that community while also being in an industry that's still kind of also being an industry and a state that kind of
I mean, the underground is parallel with the industry, no matter how
exactly.
anybody wants to look at it.
Exactly. So
The
what are your
industry is
thoughts on
just
that?
the underground with money. That's all that it is.
Right, right. So like
Really think
what are your
about it.
thoughts on that type of on that whole building a community within this type of culture where it stands today?
I feel like it took some time for me to get to a place where I'm like confident with what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I feel like I got some solid support, so whatever support I get outside of that is honestly just cherries on a cake.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like navigating things as a woman is always going to be a little bit of a challenge. Just because literally since the beginning of time, women have whatever. That's a whole different thing.
Right, right.
But also being a woman that raps is a whole different thing. Also, because then you already get put in a box first of all.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and no disrespect to pussy rap. I respect pussy rap. That's
Mhm.
fine, but that's not that's not my front and center style.
Right.
Will I do pussy rap one day? Who knows? That's not out of the cards. But I do feel like a lot of women who rap get put in this box. They get over sexualized, etc., so forth. They get one upped, whatever. There's always a she don't write her own music thing. I'm not saying I've been accused of these. Mind you, this is just things that I'm observing in the media, observing day to day shit. Like I remember one time I hopped on Twitter and there was like this whole discourse about how there was a person in particular that said they just can't listen to women rap because they prefer deeper voices. And I was just like, what the fuck do you even mean by that?
What the fuck does
What the
that
fuck do
mean?
you, what is that? There's so many women that have deep voices, first of all. And second of all, just say you don't like women's music. If that's your talking about I prefer deeper voices, that's just a weak ass argument. I would have accepted almost anything else.
That's a trash ass
like
argument.
if they
That's
were just like, listen, I'm just misogynistic as fuck. I would have been like, yo, bet.
Yeah, like
Congrats.
just live in that shit if you're gonna go
That's
out there and do that.
Don't be misogynistic somewhere else. Nah, but for me, it's like, and I remember having a conversation with you, where we were like, well, are you doing this for the love or for recognition or whatever? And it's like, at this point, being recognized is just a blessing. Like, I don't care. Like, I need music to express and get things out. It runs in my blood. My dad was in a band, touring band for 20 plus years. His father was in a touring band for 35 plus years. Wow. I'm not about to be in a band for 35 years, but I am going to be in this world. Like, I'm supposed to be in this world. You know what I mean? Like, because whenever I step into it, everything is organic. Everything is natural. Like, I don't really have a formula or like a process. Like, a lot of the things I do is just as I feel on the fly, or kind of just like I go in with maybe one intention and I leave with a whole nother. Like, you never really know. Like, right now, my stance on things is like, I'm open to collabing, I'm open to trying new stuff, and I'm open to learning, because I closed myself off many a time during this, on and off, just closing myself off, opening myself up, closing myself off, whatever. I'm like, I can't even talk. But you get what I mean. Like, I'm just at a point where I want to give myself the freedom to express, and I want to be around other people who want the same for themselves. And if they don't know how to get there, then we get there. Like, there's no pressure in my world. That's really, and it's ironic because I literally had just finished saying that I love pressure, but I just mean there's no pressure to be anything but yourself. That's really, I don't pressure myself to do anything but be myself at this point. So that's it. That's my motto.
Hold on.
He dropping gems. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like it's just because I'm like my father. All my dad does is talk like this. He's like, the wisdom. He has that accent. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, if you guys know my dad, like, he's like, there's the, like, and I'm just like, all right, Dad. Like, he's just always talking in lessons and like wise words and like whatever. So I think I get that for him. Like I used to get called like a wordsmith. Wordsmith, yeah. There was this person online. They were like, "Yo, you're just a wordsmith." So I never forgot that either. Like, just putting words together, hoping for the best.
I like that, and even before we wrap up here, I want to kind of tell you, I'm glad that the progression that you have, even when you were saying like, you open yourself off, you open yourself up and close yourself off, open yourself up and close yourself off. Like, a lot of people have a semblance to regret that. Like, they feel like, oh, if I wasn't closed off in this portion of my life, or this portion of time in my life, like, I could have been here, I could have been there, I could have been there. Like, I'm glad that you don't run by that. Like, I'm glad that you're like, I learned from being closed off in this moment. I've opened myself up, and even knowing that there's you're a complex person. Like, you have a duality where like some moments of your life will be closed off, some moments of your life will be open, but you choose to continue to create not only through both of those moments, but also you choose to remember that there is no pressure. And
I
that
had to take the pressure away, man. I had to do it.
exactly. And that, cuz that shit can eat you alive, and I'm glad it didn't. You know,
Thank
I'm
you. Yeah, me
glad it
too.
didn't. And
It's been a tough couple years for everybody. I just honestly hope
right,
everybody's okay.
right.
Be a little nicer to yourself.
E-
That's if there's a message I have today for people, just be a little nicer to yourself. Like you're gonna spend
exactly.
your whole life kicking your own ass. Life is already kicking your ass anyway. You might as well be good to yourself while you're at it. So
Thank you.
I don't
Thank
know.
you.
Like I'm just looking forward to the new year. I'm excited to see what you've got going on. I'm
You
excited to
know
see
it.
what I've got going
You know
on.
that's right.
I think you and I have evolved so much since we first messaged each other. By the
Yes.
way, we know each other off of the internet first.
Yeah.
This was just
Like
internet shit for like 2 or 3 years. I only knew him off the internet. And then we randomly ran into each other at like a jazz event in Jersey City.
yup.
Whoa. Jersey Sitter. Let me stop. But yeah, yo, Mark, you're amazing. Like I love what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Thank you.
I'm gonna I want I want you to continue putting out content because I'm gonna continue to eat it up. Actually, I think I just figured out my YouTube, so I gotta go subscribe and do all that stuff.
Yes.
I'm such an old lady. Like I don't really log into YouTube. You know, like those people that never log into YouTube. I
Yeah.
just logged in like last week,
It's a different
and
world. You're
now
gonna
and
love
now I'm
it.
seeing now I'm seeing how weird I am with all my recommended videos. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, is this really what I consume?
But that's
So I
dope.
think you're gonna be the first channel I subscribe to. I don't think I'm subscribed to anything. I don't know
That's
how
a
to use
fucking
this.
honor. That's a fucking honor, and I appreciate
First,
that.
you're the first person to interview me. Get those bragging rights on paper.
Yeah.
You feel
Oh,
me?
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I
With
really
that,
appreciate you taking the time to do this, though,
I
for real.
appreciate you. That's
Thank you for
exactly
being
what I was about to say.
flexible. Thank you for allowing me to do it from the comfort of my car
Of
after work.
course.
I already told my peoples, I'm like, look, I'm gonna be outside. They're like, oh, do you wanna? And I'm like, nah, I want to be in my car for this. I do, cause I don't know. I just love being in my car. I'm so comfortable in here. So
Yeah, hell yeah. And
you
and
heard.
wherever you're most comfortable, you know I'm all about comfortability. And Chef Steph, we made it.
RenaMarq.
We made it,
We gotta get used to saying that. RenaMarq. Because
We
I'm just
made
used to
it.
calling you Mark.
Yeah, no, call me because that's musically I just go by Mark Simmons anyway. Um but
But yeah, I know
we're
the streaming
family.
thing
That's what
is,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Like, well, we family, so you can go by Marquis, whatever the hell you want to
Marky
go
Mark,
by.
let me
Marky
stop.
Mark, gang. Um
Listen, man, I'm looking forward to the next link for sure as well.
Yes. We'll definitely link up soon. I
Mm,
definitely don't want it to go into the new year before we actually link up in person.
yeah,
And with that, I know you have amazing things to come, so that will definitely be highlighted by me. You know I'm a gas it.
I appreciate it.
You
This is one
know
of my
I'm a
biggest
gas it.
supporters right here.
Yes.
This is the village I'm talking about. By the way,
Exactly.
you're in that village. No Resident Evil.
No Resident.
Ooh!
Oh, that's a
Ooh!
like.
Write that down. Write that down. Write that down. I'm holding my laptop like it's an
Oh man.
iPhone. I need to relax.
But with that, of course everything will be in the description below. Anything that your socials, your music, your songs, your
Oh yes,
Spotify,
thank you.
everything.
I'm not
Of
good with that
course.
stuff. I
I got
appreciate
you.
it.
I got
I
you.
don't really know
Everything
how
will
to
be in the description
yeah,
below. I got you. I got you. The
subscribe,
logistics, I got you. Thank you. Thank you.
subscribe or else.
But
Nah,
Chef Steph, I
Marky Mark,
appreciate you.
I
I love
appreciate
you.
you.
I
Much
love you.
love, man.
Much
Look,
love.
this is
Always.
how the folks are doing hearts now.
What the I don't even know. Am I
Look,
getting this old? I
here's
don't
your
know how to do
pointers.
that. My
Get your
pointers,
pointers. Put it down.
put it down,
There you
and
go.
then like
There you
that.
go. But yeah, there you go.
Damn,
Keep these 3 fingers straight. You good?
I feel
There
like
you go.
that's so crazy. Okay,
You did
I
it.
like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
That should be the screen cap.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna
Yo,
make
I
that the screen
appreciate you
crack.
so much. Thank you for
Of
rocking with me
course.
and for waiting for me to get out of work. The hustle
Of
never
course.
stops.
You know that's
After
right.
I get out of here, I'm about to go have a fun night. Everybody be
Yes.
safe for the
Enjoy
holidays. For
enjoy your
real.
holidays, Steph.
You as
I talked to you.
well.
I hit you up on text after this. So
Yeah, we'll talk.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
talk. Feel
Get
free to bother me whenever. I
Of
mean it.
course,
All
and
good.
you know that's right. You know you can hit me up anytime. And Steph, get home safe or wherever you going. Get there safe. Let me
Will
know when you
do.
get there safe,
I'm
please.
going to the streets. No, I'm kidding.
To the streets. No,
Okay.
get there safe. Let me know when you
Will
get
do,
there.
yo. Thank you.
You know I
Much
love you.
love. And with
Much
that being
love.
said, we out.
We out.
Jersey.
Jersey, gang, gang. You know that's right. You're
All right. Peace, Mark. Thanks for
peace,
everything.
peace.
Bye bye.